What's going on? It's Alan Brown, aka Bully the Kid. This is the third video in the series, So You Want to Play Slap Bass, huh? First video was focused on pretty much the right hand. Second video was focused on some of the stuff I do with my left hand. It's not really that much in the second video. And then the third video is finding your sound and how you can do this technique to fit your liking. So if you found this video, chances are you're already wanting to get a slap tone or trying to find that special slap tone that's all you, right? So hopefully I can help steer you to, something that'll help you out, benefit you in your bass journeys. First thing I want to talk about is equipment. So there's three things. Of course, you have your cabinet, you have your bass head, and then you have your actual bass. To get a good slap sound, generally it's a scooped EQ. By scooped, I mean there's boosted bass, taken out mids, and a boosted high end. So if you have like a 7-band EQ, it's gonna look like this. That's pretty much what it's gonna look like, with bass on this end, mids here, and then high on that end. So it's like a smiley face, kind of like that, something like that. That's the general slap pattern, right? So to give an illustration of that, and this is talking about your amp, I actually have a TC Electronic 250 head here, and I don't know if you can see it. It has three variances in its EQ. Has bass, middle, and treble. There's a video that I did a whole review on this amp head already, and that's on my channel somewhere. I'm sure I'll put a link somewhere in this so you can look at that if you want to get a better look at this head. It's a great head. It's very lightweight, really small. You can put it in a gig bag. Great amp. But for this one, so your bass will be boosted, your mid will be in the middle or dialed back a little bit, and your treble will be boosted. That's generally the scooped EQ that I was just talking about. Some amp heads have a little bit more stuff going on to them, but this. Now, as far as cabinet goes, this cabinet is a 410 with a tweeter on it. Has an attenuator switch, but I don't use it. I just override because I like the full-on brightness of the tweeter, so I don't ever use the attenuator switch. Yeah, so this cabinet was originally a Behringer cabinet, like Behringer construction, and the speakers, I didn't like them, so I gutted them and got 4 new neodymium subs or speakers, bass speakers to put in here, and the tweeter blew, so I got a replacement tweeter from Amazon. So this is a completely different, like a completely custom cabinet, and I like it. It sounds pretty good. So I think the speakers themselves all cost me around $150 for 410s, and then this tweeter was like $12. So I think the whole setup probably cost just under $450, just under. If you can get an empty 410 cabinet, you can reinforce it and seal it in real good. This is ported at the bottom, but you can seal it in real good and still get really good put out. You don't necessarily have to spend $800, $900 on a really solid Ampeg cabinet or a Galen Kruger or acoustic or custom or Mark bass, whatever is the hottest stuff out now. You don't have to do that, but I do respect those that have deals that could just have them send out equipment to them. I don't have that, so I gotta thug it how I can. So that's what I did. But I got my speakers from Seismic Audio, so check them out. Real good, solid speakers. They're not paying me for this, so I'm just letting you know because it's cheap and it's quality equipment. So that's amp, that's cabinet, and then you have your bass. This is my weapon of choice for this video. This is a Marcus Miller. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. It's a Marcus Miller vintage V7 bass. Hopefully I can zoom in. Up here on lost focus on myself. There we go. Alright, this is a Marcus Miller V7 vintage bass. It's a jazz bass. Jazz bass pickups and stuff. Cool thing about this is it has a really expanded EQ. I have videos on this bass, me playing it and all that good stuff. But trying to tailor your tone, you have to choose your weapon, you have to choose your cabinet, you have to choose your amp. Do you have to be expensive whenever you make these choices? No. I think this whole setup probably cost me just south of $1,200. And this is for any event. You can rock with this, like for almost any event. If you have to like project out to a whole large audience, just mic the cab and you call it a day. Like that's it. Or run a DI from the back of the amplifier and you're good. So you could actually technically run this cabinet, amp, and bass all day, every day. When I bought this bass costs, I think, $500 or so. This amp costs about $299, and this cabinet is just south of $500. So that's around $1,200–$1,300 for this whole setup. Now, Marcus Miller Sire basses is, for what it is, I mean, it's supposed to be used for slap. Like that's the whole bread and butter of what this bass is. It's a very good instrument, but number one, slap bass is where this thing shines. Like it has the EQ on it is like geared for you to slap the heck out of it. Keep a fresh set of strings on it, turn that treble up, turn that bass up, cut that mid out, and it's a beautiful sound, man. Like it's great. So I'm gonna go ahead and run into that for a little bit. Now, there are a few different ways you can get your slap tone. Generally, for this demo, I'm gonna have my bass at 5 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I'm gonna put my mid at 12 o'clock and my treble at 12 o'clock, so everything's pretty much zeroed out across the board on my amplifier. All my manipulation is gonna come from me messing with my bass guitar. And this is an active bass. It has two 9-volt pickup compartments on it. It can operate in active and passive. It's a really nice bass. So I think I have a video coming where I'm gonna be getting another one of these bad boys, except I have a P pickup here instead of a jazz pickup. So stay tuned for that one. But in the meantime, let me go ahead and adjust this so you can see me messing with it here, if I can. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and put everything in the center. Alright. Turn this on, if I can. I'll plug this in. Let's do that. Okay, so now we're live. So everything's in the center, and bass, mid, treble, frequency sweep, pickups in the center, trebles all the way up, volume up. This is what the bass sounds like. Everything is completely flat on the amp as well as the bass. So that's with EQ completely flat, bass completely flat. That's how the bass actually sounds. Now all my manipulation is going to happen on the bass guitar itself. And first thing I'm going to do is start the very crest of the smiley face, what I was talking about. I'm going to go ahead and boost up my treble all the way. Make sure my master tone's all the way up. My mid and my bass is still in the center. So if you like really crisp highs and a really flattened out low end, this might be you. be you. Sounds pretty good. Most people want to have high bass as well as high treble and cut out the mids. But for this one, I'm gonna do treble all the way boosted. I'm gonna do bass about halfway to full on boost and leave the mid in the center. That's what it sounds like. So there's that. This next one, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the mid all the way out, leave the treble all the way up. Bass is about 75% of the whole thing. So let me cut out this mid. Okay, got my sweeper still in the middle. Okay. Next, what I'm gonna do is mid is all the way out, bass is at 75, trebles all the way up. I'm gonna go ahead and take the mid and bring it all the way back to the 800 range as far as hertz frequency. This is what it sounds like. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up to the I think it's the 5000s range on the high end of the Marcus Miller spectrum. All the same settings. The only thing I mess with is the mid sweep. And that's what it sounds like. So it's just a matter of what you're gonna use it for, how you're gonna use it, and that's just with this bass. Like, not every EQ is equal. So this bass is how it rocks for just this bass. Just depends on what you like. There's a whole bunch of different flavors, little tweaks you can do to get your specific sound. But for this bass and me playing it, this is how I set it up. So I'm gonna go bass center, mid about 25, treble all the way up. I keep the sweeper on the D10, so I think it's around 800, believe. So I'll keep that in the center. I'll take my pickup selector and just barely roll it to my jazz pickup, and this is my sound. That's what I think I sound best as. So yeah, worst case scenario, if it's lacking a little bit of booty, just bring in some of that bass. A little bit more. So yeah. And keep in mind, that's just manipulating my bass. That's not even touching the amplifier. So as a general principle, I usually don't mess with my amplifier. Usually I may boost the treble just a little bit. I may boost the bass a little bit less than that. And then I might take out just a tad bit. But it's only like this much to that much. I'm not going bass here and then mid here and then treble here. So I'm, it's kind of like treble here, mid there, and then bass there, you know. So I don't really do too much extremes. And that's holding the very same. So yeah, hopefully this helps you get your own sound. Hopefully this helps you get your own flavor on what you want to do. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video at that point. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Hit the subscribe button if you like this type of content. Hit the like button if you like how I describe the content. Do all of that good stuff, and then hit the bell, because YouTube makes us do all this crap just so you can know whenever I post a new video. But I do thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all. And till next time, this is Alan Brown, aka Bullet Kid. Y'all be easy. Peace.